When I look back at the moment everything started falling apart, it all feels like a blur of careless words I never should have said. My name is Jessica Miller, and I live in Portland, Oregon. I always thought marriage was supposed to be the safest place in the world, a home where love could survive even the toughest storms. But one night, with one sentence, I destroyed the very foundation of mine. It started on a Saturday evening in early spring. My husband Daniel and I had been married for 3 years. We met in Seattle at a friend's barbecue, and he had the kind of gentle, patient soul that drew me in immediately. He wasn't flashy, he wasn't the loudest in the room, but he was steady, reliable, and kind. Over time, those qualities made me feel safe, like I could finally stop chasing after the wrong men and build something real. But safe doesn't always mean exciting. I had a bad habit of comparing him, even though I knew it was wrong. My ex Ryan was the opposite of Daniel. He was outgoing, adventurous, and reckless. He could light up a room with a joke, charm strangers in minutes, and always seemed to live at full speed. Our relationship had ended badly. Too many lies, too much chaos, but sometimes I still caught myself romanticizing the thrill of it. That night, Daniel and I were at dinner with a couple of friends. It was casual, pizza, soda, and laughter filling the kitchen. Someone made a joke about exes, about how people always end up with someone completely different the second time around. And without thinking, without pausing to weigh my words, I laughed and said, "Yeah, my ex was bigger in every way. Bigger personality, bigger dreams, bigger lifestyle. Daniel's more grounded." The room went quiet for a second before someone forced a laugh and changed the subject. I didn't notice Daniel's face right away. But later, when we were cleaning up in silence, the weight of my words hit me. He didn't look at me. He didn't even argue. He just kept wiping the counter like he wasn't in the room with me. "Daniel," I said softly, "I didn't mean it like that." He gave me a tight smile that didn't reach his eyes. "No, just you meant it. It's fine." But it wasn't fine. The next morning, he was gone before I woke up. His closet was half empty, and his toothbrush was missing from the bathroom sink. He hadn't slammed doors or yelled or left a note. Just vanished. I stared at the hollow space in our bedroom and realized my marriage might have ended in silence. At first, I thought he just needed time. I texted him, "Can we talk?" "I'm sorry." No reply. The hours stretched into days. I called, left voicemails, sent long apologies that made me cringe after hitting send. I told him he was the best thing that ever happened to me. I told him Ryan wasn't bigger, not in the ways that mattered. But my screen stayed cold and blank. By the third week, I started driving past his office downtown, hoping to catch a glimpse of him leaving work. I sat in the car, hands gripping the steering wheel, waiting like a ghost outside his life. Once, I saw him walking with his coworkers, laughing at something one of them said. For a split second, I almost jumped out to call his name, but the way his shoulders looked lighter without me, like he was finally breathing, I froze and stayed hidden. At night, I replayed that dinner scene over and over. My careless laugh, my thoughtless comparison. Why had I said it? Why do we sabotage the people who love us most? The truth was, Daniel had given me stability when I was drowning in chaos. He gave me patience when I didn't deserve it. And instead of cherishing him, I let my insecurities and nostalgia for the wrong kind of love ruin us. I remembered the small things he used to do, leaving coffee on my nightstand when he left early for work, fixing the squeaky cabinet without me asking, texting me drive safe whenever I left the house late. Those quiet gestures were his way of saying I love you. And I had thrown it all away chasing an illusion of excitement. Weeks turned into a month. Still no text back. Friends tried to comfort me, saying he just needed space, but deep down, I knew Daniel wasn't the type to play games. His silence wasn't about time. It was about finality. One afternoon, I saw him in the park. He was sitting on a bench, reading a book, the spring sun casting light over his face. He looked peaceful. I wanted to walk over, to beg him to let me explain, to promise I would never hurt him again. But something in me stopped. Because the truth was, I had already said enough. He deserved peace. He deserved someone who didn't compare him to shadows of the past. I walked away that day without saying a word. My phone still hasn't lit up with his name. and maybe it never will. The hardest part isn't the silence. It's knowing I caused it. One careless sentence, one thoughtless comparison, cost me the man who loved me with his whole heart. If there's one lesson I can share, it's this: cherish the steady, quiet love. Don't glamorize what's gone or chase the thrill of what once was. Because sometimes the safest place, the gentlest soul, is the very thing you'll lose if you're not careful with your words. And once it's gone, you may never even get a text back.